Walker and his friend Roger Brothers. We'll say condolences for their families. Very, very sad. A big time accident happened over the weekend on Saturday. They're still looking into what really happened. I've seen some pictures aerial pictures from Santa Clara. Very, very, very sad tragedy. That's why, we tell you kids out there, don't drink and drive, don't speed. I mean, in the movies, they do the speeding. That's the movies, man. Most times they come back. That's the movies. In real life, when you speed, you don't come back. So, you just gotta remember, you gotta slow down. You gotta know when to slow it down. And that's very, very important nowadays in the world we live in. Just slow it down, folks. Just slow it down. So we just gotta remember that, folks. Slow it down. Slow it down. It's the only way back. Slow it down. So, folks, I got some news that there has been some big trades and some big signings this morning. Joe Nathan has signed a 2-year deal worth $26 million. I'm getting some reports from MLB trade rumors. He signs with Detroit, 2-year deal, one of the game's best closers. Now they finally filled the void of a closer, the Detroit Tigers. They weren't just signing Joe Nathan today. Yesterday they made a blockbuster deal in dealing off Doug Fister, one of the long-time starting rotation men, who's been a solid pitcher for this franchise ever since he came from the Seattle Mariners, for 3 top prospects from the Washington Nationals. It's Steve Barbozzi. Steve Barbozzi is a good outfielder that, he's had a cup of tea in the major leagues. He hasn't really lit up the major leagues, but he's a decent player. They acquired a good young third baseman who's going to probably be okay third baseman, not an everyday player. But I think Barbozzi will probably contribute to Detroit. He'll probably come off the bench, be a bench player. But long term, I think he'll be a good pickup for Detroit. But if you think about this deal, it's pretty much a salary dump. So they could sign Joe Nathan, and they're trying to sign Max Scherzer long term. I think they'll be successful in that effort. And there was another trade yesterday, another blockbuster deal. Jamal Weeks, from the A's, top prospect second baseman we saw play for the A's last few years, the younger brother of Ricky Weeks, is on his way to the Orioles for one of the game's best closers the last few years. 2-time reliever of the year, Jim Johnson, who's saved over 50 games twice. Actually, one time he saved 50 games with Baltimore, and next year he saved, I think, 45, 46 games. One of the game's best closers. And the A's, they were busy yesterday, and they have been busy today. They made a minor league trade of acquiring Chris Gentry this morning from the Texas Rangers for one of their young players, and Michael Choice went the other way. And I hear rumblings that today they're actually in discussions with the Cleveland Indians and the Seattle Mariners, that they're in discussions with a move that would send Brett Anderson to either the Cleveland Indians or the Seattle Mariners. Probably some top prospects. I'm surprised they make this move, but don't forget they signed Scott Kazmir yesterday to a 2-year deal worth $22 million. So big money for Scott Kazmir. I mean, Scott Kazmir has the talent. If he's healthy, his velocity's there, his pitch count's getting up there. He can pitch longer now. His speed on his fastball's coming up closer to 95, 96. He went from like 88, 89 to about 93, 94. I think last year he pitched 95-mile-an-hour fastball last season with the Cleveland Indians. He just proved under Terry Francona that he's still one of the game's top pitchers. He's been out of the game for a couple years, played for a few independent teams in Puerto Rico and in the independent league and in the States for the same team I think Roger Clemens pitched for one game. So I think Scott Kazmir has really found his way back. The 30-year-old, he has a lot of talent. It's all about health and confidence, and I think he will really help out the Oakland A's. And I think when you look at the moves that we're going to see next week at the winter meetings, there might not be too many moves. I think all the moves are happening today. I mean, recently, just today, a couple minutes ago, I just found out that the Diamondbacks and I think and the Nationals just did a three team trade with the Rays. That one of their top prospect catchers, Ryan Hansen, went to the Rays in a deal, so he'll be their third catcher. It looks like the Blue Jays have signed a catcher in Donaire Navarro. They have non-tendered J.P. Anderson, so now he's an unrestricted free agent. He can sign with any team now. I'm surprised the Blue Jays would give up on Aaron Sebia. He's one of my favorite Toronto Blue Jays. I think he's still a good young player. I can see the Marlins or Texas Rangers or any team up there, even Minnesota, maybe take a run at him. There's been talk of Jared Saltalamacchia going to the Twins. Talk of AJ Brzezinski, but Brzezinski has signed a one-year deal with Boston Red Sox today, worth $8.76 million. He just has pending a physical, probably will pass it. It's huge. I mean, it's been really busy the last few days. It's not even winter meetings, and teams are signing pitchers left, right, and center, making trades. You're going to see a lot more trades. I got some footage from MLB Network, so we're going to take a look at what the boys got to say. Brian Heyman and Ken Rosenthal and the legend at MLB Network. See what they have to say. You just can't just take my word. Sometimes you got to take their word. So we'll see what they got to say. Well, a special thanks to MLB Network for a little bit of footage. And you know what? When you think about it, folks, you never know in this game. It always seems to surprise you, even surprises me. And you know, Matt, can you imagine Braun being traded? I couldn't see it happening, but you never know. I got one more little bit of footage for you guys to see with Ken Rosenthal, Brian Heyman, and the host from MLB Network. These guys are the best, and I'll give you one more shot at some of the best insiders in Major League Baseball. These two guys, actually it's John Heyman and Ken Rosenthal. My bad. I keep calling Brian Heyman. Oh, it's John Heyman, Ken Rosenthal. Let's give another look at what they got to say about Price probably getting moved this offseason. I do. The price per price. The price is right. I think when you look at these moves, folks, who knows? Do the Tampa Bay Rays trade Price next week? I think they do. And I think the team they do trade him to wouldn't surprise me one iota, and it will be the Texas Rangers for Joksham Pokofar and then one of their talented young pitching prospects. And then after that, Texas goes out, signs Robinson Cano to a $300 million contract. My prediction, it'll be the biggest deal in Major League Baseball history. I think it's just ridiculous, but they'll do it. The Yankees are not going to sign him to that money, and I know Texas will, because they know what Cano can bring to that team. With him in fielder, I mean, sky is the limit. Playing in that ballpark, it's so small. It's real hot in the summertime in Texas. That would be one of the best moves. That would guarantee you get them the World Series, first time in team history. Something Nolan Ryan was able to do as a player or as an owner. They'll finally be able to bring in the players they need to get the job done. The AL West is up for grabs, and I think they can win it this year. Oakland are kind of weakened. They didn't bring back Cologne. I mean, Kazmir's going to help. I think Jim Johnson will help. But I just don't think Oakland have enough power bats to win that division this year. I think the Mariners are going to be updated this year. I think they're going to make some big-time signings in terms of pitching, and some bats they're going to bring in to really help them out. Houston, they're going to really real bad this year too. So you got to watch out for Texas. I think this year, them and the Mariners are going to be teams that are going to be chasing the Oakland A's. And watch out for Texas. If they can get Cano and they can bring in David Price, hands-on favorite to win the AL West and maybe get to the World Series in 2014. So long, folks. Thanks for watching. We'll see you at the next MLB Trade Rumors update. Mark Spencer.